It's January 15th, 2026. Oh, today just kept getting worse and worse. After I did that other video, we went out to go to a different bank. And on the way up there, we pulled over to McDonald's so Carl could use the bathroom. And my grandson, Tyler, called. And he's like, I need a ride home from school. Well, he's 18. And he knew to ask before this. And I said, could you give me a little more notice? Well, I could find something. I said, well, if I'm 20 minutes away, well, I already tried da. I said, well, I can do it, but it's going to take me a while. I said, I'm clear on the other side of Melbourne. And then on the way back, he starts running his mouth about the white truck my ex-husband didn't sign over to Danny, but said he could use it with no plates and no insurance. And it took me forever to get the title bureau to give me the title number, and then the BMV to give me plates, and I got insurance on it. Okay, it just sits in the driveway right now. He's not allowed to drive it until it's switched into their name. We've been trying. Danny's been dealing with Dave for over a year and a half, trying to get him to sign a power of attorney over the title so that he can take it out of my name and put it in his. In the meantime, I have to plate it and I have to insure it because it's still in my name. I said, you're not driving it until it's out of my name. Well, my wonderful grandfather, Dada, I said, what did he do? He gave you a vehicle that can't be drove without plates and insurance, and he left me with a bill that cost me $140 a month. So what did he do? He just dumped the vehicle. That was still in my name. It's still mine. It's not yours. I said, yes, it is. And I said, why do you think I buy the plates and I pay for the insurance? So what did he actually do? Just give you something you couldn't use until I fixed it. And I said, and you're not allowed to drive it until it's out of my name. It's not yours. I said, I can prove how much it's mine. I can come get it, have it hauled off. And there's nothing you can do. You can't. I said, it's in my name. It's not really yours. I said, it's mine enough. I can have it hauled off. I have to buy the plates and the insurance. And he started getting really rude. And he started how great his grandfather. I said, what did he really do for you? I said, look at all the stuff I do for you. What did he really do for you? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I said, look at all the stuff I do. And you're calling up and telling me off? I said, you need to stop. And you need to stop. Now, I told him several times to stop. He wouldn't. And he got to the point he was screaming at me. Oh, I went off. I said, you want to hear what kind of fucking bastard your grandfather is? I said, where they kicked in the door, they set up on cameras. Even in the bathroom, he sold kitty porn if you as little kitties in the bathroom. You're just saying that. I said, no, I'm not. I said they were supposed to Photoshop that shower scene in the other room, and where I had bruises, he was having me drugged for fake confessions and beaten raped by strange men under drugs. That's where I was bruised and I was sick. And then they ran a scam of a dirty doctor. There could never be a doctor. It's HIPAA. It's the most stupid, evil scam in the world that no one would fall for. It's HIPAA. And I said, no one can talk about your medical records. Doctors don't tape you unaware. It's a federal crime. He ran a pathetic scam of photoshopping and washing and drug confessions. And he hired those men on their own to run that scam on me. And I told him off. I said, why do you think he left the country? Because he was afraid he was going to be arrested. And I told him off. And he started screaming at me. And I said, you know, you can walk your fucking fat ass home. And you need to think about your behavior and the way you've talked to me. Oh, I called Jen and I told her what I said to her son. She started laughing. She said, you tell Danny. And have Danny address it with him. He won't talk to you that way. I said, well, it's HIPAA. No attorney can go to a doctor's office or a hospital to get information without sign consent, picture ID, and then they call and verify you. And you have to sign and give your ID that you're releasing information. They can't talk about you. It's 10 years. They can't pull your medical records. It's 10. They can't even approach him. It'd be 10 years for the attorney. It's so stupid. It's ridiculous. And I said, the special permission to be in my home, the photoshopping and washing you didn't know, hypnotic drugs and told to say stuff. And I had those bruises. I said, I told him off big time and how stupid their scam was. There's no such thing as special permission. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements in accordance with the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution. If attorneys in your home, they're to be disbarred and criminally charged. Illegal monitoring, felony invasion of privacy, cyber stalking, and voyeurism. Listen, I'm a sex offender. I told that kid off big time. Called Danny. And I told him how bad he talked to me to the point we were screaming at each other. And I said it was bad. And I told him to stop so many times it wasn't even funny. He wouldn't do it. And I told him he can walk his fucking fat ass home. He can think of his bad behavior. And if he didn't watch it, I was going to come get that truck. He said, I'm going to tell him off. He showed up. He said, I asked him, why on earth did you talk to her that way? He said he didn't even know why he did it. That's the way Strange would talk to people over the pulpit. He would beat that pulpit. He would scream. He would call people names. Some people would run out. Some people would quit church. And then some people would apologize for him being an ass to him. He'd get more control over them. That's the way Dave used to talk to me. The abusive disorder of screaming control, demeaning, it won't happen. Danny said he's supposed to call and apologize to you. He never did. Gave him some food to thought. See all these lies these people have run around? You know, I stayed quiet and tried not to involve my family. Trying to keep them out as much as possible so these people wouldn't kill them. And these people are running around. Badmouth me, oh, that attorney had special permission. There's no such thing. The Portage County Sheriff's didn't know. The Ravenna Police, the prosecutor's office didn't know. Why? Because Dave hired him on his own. I told Danny, I said the Louisville police were outside our old apartment in Louisville, May 30th, 25. They found the case that said that my ex-husband hired these two men on his own. He did this. He did it. And I said that Michelle, that Dixie knew, that Dave was dating. I said Carl heard her, and Carl seen her on April 17th, 25 in Sheets, where I was trying to, that Nissan I had so much trouble with. We were picking it back up from the shop. Where March 27th, 25, an investigator had dated her on a ruse. And when she confessed to him that the doctor from before was not one of mine, works for them and they had lied. And she don't know who he is. And when they bashed in my head, they tried to kill me or leave me incompetent. And it worked. As soon as she told him, he broke up with her. And she was yelling that out in the parking lot there. She called the police up there. And they said, how dumb were you telling that guy that he's some kind of agent? You'll end up in jail for it. And she's yelling, and I really liked him. And Carl's told Danny, I heard her say it. And I seen her. I said Dixie actually knew her. I've never even talked to her. I've only seen her. And then those people start walking around me, and they were threatening to shave her head bald, make her work as a servant, threaten her life. And instead of her cowering, she went Nazi on him. She's been telling, I said December 1st, 25, an investigator showed up. Walmart 62, they tape an audio. That Michelle showed up, told him that this whole thing was a scam. to extort money from the government. And my ex-husband was involved. Where November 23rd, 25 Summit Mall girls were in there yelling how they called my ex-husband and said they need to run a scam on somebody to extort money from the government. And he agreed to let them do it to me if they made sure he got everything in the divorce. They wanted to scare me into calling the FBI, have the agent open a case, and they were going to steal the informant money that he had just handed to him. They thought he was that dumb. They could trick him out of it. They can never touch it. When you're in immunity from the government, it's like diplomatic immunity, but it's government immunity. It's stronger. You can't be touched and processed. The government protects you. You're a government witness. Get the idea? But these people are dumb. They don't see. That's where Linda told me my sister was married to Strange's kid. Strange puts on airs that he's smart. He's not. He has a high school diploma from the 1950s. He can only read, write, add and subtract, multiply and divide. He has like what we call a grade school education now. That's all he had. I said, well, he went to college. No. He only has a license because the minister showed up, taught some Bible classes in the 1950s, signed a bunch of licenses. He only got that church because that guy couldn't sell it. That was a first owner. Did a land contract. Missed one payment. He lost everything. So he bullied people out of tithes and offerings till he paid that off so he'd have that church for himself. So he didn't know what HIPAA was. He didn't know the right to privacy. He didn't know they were federal crimes. So where that guy said Michelle had told him that they admitted that this whole thing was a scam to extort money from the government. My ex-husband was involved. And the doctor from before is not one of hers. He works for them and they have lied. She actually doesn't know who he is. And they admitted to using hypnotic drugs on her when they drugged her and told her to say it before. They photoshopped that weird with yourself. It's photoshopped to washing yourself in the shower. And they already confessed to all that. And that guy Pete that was running his mouth about her, she don't even know who he is. It's just some guy that her ex-husband hired on his own. And this whole thing is a scam to extort money from the government. Okay? And I told Danny that. And I told Jen that. And she's telling on all of them. They threaten that girl. And then it comes to the point, are you crazy? Threatening her? She was part of the Florida drug cartel. Seen that Faith Family Church, the ones that work for Judge Peters? The ones that were saying that they were the FBI agent that tortured me. Those people torture you. They bash your head in. Are you crazy threatening her? And threatening someone that belonged to the drug cartel? People were saying that when they, after April 24th, 25, and they were leaving threats on her in the mall, up in Summit Mall, went back up. People were like, are they crazy threatening her? That cartel will take care of them. Well, she's not going to take it. And she went Nazi on him. Go, girl. She stood up to him and told all kinds of investigators what they were actually doing. Now think about this. HIPAA violations, the right to privacy over your medical records. Right on Google, it is illegal for a doctor to tape you unaware. It's 10 years and $1 million fine. No doctor can talk about you without your consent. It's 10 years. No doctor can pull your medical record without your signed consent. Picture ID. And the place verified that you released it to them. That's why you have to sign a release to go to a specialist and then sign a release for them to pull it. Get the idea? It's 10 years stealing documents. No attorney could go to a hospital or a doctor without a picture ID, signed consent, them call and verify it's you, and then you have to sign consent, picture ID that it's you, releasing it to them. Or it's 10 years for the attorney and 10 years for the doctor or hospital. Loss of license for everyone. Right to privacy over your medical records. They could never have my medical records. They could never make it public. They could never know anything. 10 years. Because it'd be like, how would you find out? Who told you? Where would you get it? Because we're looking at 30 years right there. Federal law. See where I was talking to the VA about Carl's kids and stepkids threatening his life, trying to steal everything from him. And one of the threats was his one stepdaughter I hadn't seen for almost 2 years. They threatened, because she had some kind of medical license, that she was going to write up that he had dementia and Alzheimer's. They said she better not. She better not even call us. Because the day she picks up that phone and she tries to say something about his medical records to us, she had just lost her license forever and about 10 years of federal prison. You have a medical license? It's unforgiving. HIPAA. Unforgiving. So how much could they not do this? Like they said, these people did not realize putting the word doctor on it made it so illegal that everybody would go to jail. Did that FBI agent know HIPAA? Yeah. Would he know? Where Officer Mark said we always knew it wasn't Karen's doctor. None of Karen's doctor could be with him. It didn't fool him one bit. Now, the right to privacy. Police and agencies can only be in a home under a threat of life with statements and a court order. It's the Fourth Amendment. Even the FBI would go to jail for being in your home. It's a felony invasion of privacy, cyber stalking, illegal monitoring, and then it goes into voyeurism. It lists you a sex offender. Fourth Amendment in the Constitution, the right of the people to be safe and secure within your own person. You have the right for that. To feel safe. No one can touch you unless you want them to. It is assault. Your places, your homes, your papers, and effects against all unreasonable searches or seizures shall not be violated. Your home can't be violated. No searches, no seizures, but upon probable cause. Warranted. You have to have a court order. With the oath or affirmation of the people, places, or things to be searched or seized. Okay? Now, we also have the right to remain quiet and a right to attorney. And with those three rights, police and agencies only under a threat of life, with statements and a court order. Otherwise, they go to jail. Now, the law even states if an attorney sets up button cameras in your home, they are to be disbarred and criminally charged instantly. Felony invasion of privacy, cyber stalking, and illegal monitoring. And voyeurism, listed as sex offender. I even Googled if an attorney has their doctor friend steal your medical records, they both lose their license and criminally charged. They're not mine. It's not even my doctor. I don't know who he is. We're at the Louisville police on May 30th, 25 at 1 o'clock in the morning. We're outside talking where they found the real case. Said Max husband hired 2 men on his own. One said he is an attorney, so it made it legal. No, it didn't. What were they thinking? Drug cartel on a platter. That's how much they've been fooling people. You know, those idiots. I was in the mall yesterday and out in Belleville Village, and they yelled out that attorney's going to already had a doctor write up her husband's incompetent. He can't. He's not his doctor. 3 VA doctors. He's perfectly normal, and 2 attorneys. That attorney and his doctor friend cannot go around running scams on people, and it takes a judge. See, I even talked to Kathy Stoneman, attorney Kathy Stoneman. To be found incompetent or insane, you have to stay in a state psychiatric hospital. They get a hold of the courts. You have to go in front of a judge. A judge has to find you incompetent or insane. You're given a guardian, a social worker, and placed on disability, and they have to explain it to you. Until you stand in front of that judge and you have that court hearing, you're not either. And it's only that. They can't just pay up a doctor to write up fraud. It's fraud. Mental illness and mental insanity is not curable. Your brain is damaged. They cannot just go around writing up fraud. And it is fraud. And it's not my doctor. In January of 19, they said they had fake paperwork to make it look official. It's not true about her. The guy wrote it up, didn't like her. Get rid of it. I wonder if that's the fake medical record, since the doctor's not mine and works for them, and they have lied. In 18 and 19, they said the doctor worked for the Florida drug cartel. And in 19, they admitted he'd never met me in person. And they had already admitted they photoshopped all their lies, and they were drugging and telling me to say stuff before. In 18. And in 18, the first month of the case, when I went to my community health, the police and the FBI was in the back, and the doctors told them that where I was sick 30 years ago, that it's documented medical malpractice, fraud, and medication errors. And it was a medicine making me sick, and the only thing that was wrong with me was my muscles locked up from all the surgeries, and those doctors caused all that. And it was fraud. It's documented fraud from 2002 and before. I had a bunch of surgeries, my muscles locked up. And went to a bunch of crackpots, falsely diagnosed me, gave me a bunch of wrong medicines, and my whole body swelled up, had seizures, heart attacks. They were lying so bad, they even said I had brain tumors and needed brain surgery. And the only thing that's wrong with me is my muscles locked up from all those surgeries. And they caused all that. They almost killed me. If I would have sued them, I would have been a millionaire. It's fraud. And it's documented fraud since 2002. They encouraged me to sue them for years. You know, when they told me that in 2002, when I asked them, because they told me I had level 2 pituitary tumors, needed part of my brain removed. Before I let them remove part of my brain, I went, and they're like, whoa, those doctors are known for lying, falsely diagnosing people, ripping them off, draining their insurance like a checking account, getting kickbacks from drug companies, making people so sick. They are doing unnecessary procedures. You're not the first one, not the only one. Get an attorney and sue them. They've almost killed you. It's a medicine doing it. The only thing's wrong with you is your muscles locked up. And they even offered to go to court with us. Encouraged Dave and I to sue them for years. Okay. It took me not. I went to Dr. Eli. He agreed. And over 9 months, I slowly got well. First month, I lost 30 pounds. By the second month, I was pulling myself around stores and malls. Got so much pain in the hospital. By the beginning of the third month, I was driving a car, pulling myself around stores, malls, doing my own grocery shopping. Seizure stopped, heart attack stopped, my thyroid and adrenal gland started working. It was chemically shut down. By April, I was almost well of 2003. My mom used to be so proud of me. I would try to walk. My legs were so swollen, my knees would pop out of place. I had to go to orthopedic doctors and have them drained. They'd pull turkey-based fluid syringes out and put steroids in. They're the ones that orthopedic doctors gave me the canes and braces because my legs would slide out of place. And over 9 months, as the swelling slowly left, I learned to walk on 1 feet. I would try walking 5 steps and I'd fall. on my face and my ass. I crawl over to a couch and pull back up. And my mom's like, "You made it 5 steps. You made it 10 steps." And I would tell her, "Shut up," and I would cry, and I was so embarrassed. I'm 30 years old, learning to walk again like a toddler, and I would fall, and I would fall, and I kept trying, and it took me months and months and months of trying and failing. And when I left, I always wore my canes and braces so I wouldn't fall, because I was going to pick up a fat girl. And but she would root me on. She'd go to church. Karen made it 5 steps. She made it 10 steps. She made it this. She made it that. And she's going to be the people at church were rooting me on. Karen, look how much weight you lost. I went from a 24 to 16 from October, November of 2002. By April of 2003, I was a 16. From a 24 to a 16. All that fluid was leaving my body. And like Dr. Eli said, your muscles clench from all those surgeries. They didn't have time to heal. And the only way to get clenched muscles to relax is to move them. But you're in so much pain. I got to get you out enough pain to move. As you move, blood flow will get pushed into them. And as blood flow gets pushed into them, they'll relax. And then you can slowly build new muscle tissue. It took me 9 months. She would go to church. She'd break all over me. She made it 5 steps. She made it 10 steps. And then I got to the point I would waddle like a duck and put my arms out to grab, steady myself. I'd waddle and I'd hold up, go for the wall, trying to balance myself. And just learning balance. And my feet were numb. And I'd still fall at times. And it took a long time. A very, very long time. An investigator said they had went to another doctor, told him what happened to me, and they said I'm actually very fortunate. After I got off the medication, everything started working again. That they could have damaged it forever. And that's where it goes to September 18th, 24, 8:30 in the morning. An investigator's next to my clients. And I pull in, and he's saying, we don't want you to say anything to her. It was a medication error that made her sick before. Why did they wait 15 years? Well, I went over and talked to him. When Strange thought she was calling Tim and Katie, he ordered her to be killed back in 2003. And that agent needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on it. It was over Strange thinking she was following Tim and Katie. And it was a medication error that made her sick before. And when I went over and talked to him, they told me that he ordered her killed. And they were to have her killed, or at least have her destroyed, and to make sure she had nothing. And nobody was allowed to say or do a thing till Dave said he wanted a divorce. And it took him 15 years to say it. And they planned this for 15 years before they did it and how they were going to do it. That agent needs to get his facts straight before he puts his name on it. I'm going to upload this. Agent John, I like my money. We all know you don't have the authority also to ask anybody to stay quiet. We all know you told the Apostolic Church of Barberton after I called the hotline. You went up and told them you knew I was being drugged, being raped, and didn't care because Strange called me a faker when you thought it was falling Tim and Katie and it was a medication error. He had to make up a lie and get rid of me real quick. And it was a 15-year-old lie at that point. And on a recorded line the next day, you admitted you had all those church people in your office and you knew they were trying to kill me, mocking me. They already knew the FBI was involved. You were seen telling on me by hundreds of people the night before they said it was you. And you made fun of me for the dirty doctor scam. and some guy named Pete. I still don't know who they are. They've hired him on his own. And mocking me, made me beg for my life, then open the informant case. And it takes a judge in a jury trial, due to the freedom of speech, to put a gag order on you. You're only a higher police officer. I have talked to the police prosecutor's office, an attorney. You don't have the authority to ask anybody to stay quiet. And then why would I stay quiet when you've already told everyone? Everybody's been in your office and they already knew. Were you playing them for the stupid idiots they are? I would like my money. I need it to help my family. I need a medical card, and I need a new name and social for me and my husband, so his family cannot harm him, and we can live out our life in peace. A letter of thank you would be nice for helping you get all those drug dealers. You got Judge Peters out of Florida, 100 men. You also got the cartel out of Buffalo, New York, several out of Michigan, California. I got a lot of intel on the Texas group that work for the king from Texas. Because of Michael Peterson, Drakasamy got arrested, him bragging he was smuggling oil into the country back in 22. And like they said, they called down and asked about his shipment because I got the bill of sale, large money transfers when he was leaving, where it was coming back, what state was buying it. And they called down and asked about it, and they said it wasn't legitimate, and they would look into it. And he got arrested. I got a world terrorist arrest him, and 50 other people, which then eventually led into us raiding that country. You're welcome. Not bad for a little old lady. I have been raped. I've been tortured. I've been human trafficked. I've been drugged till I lost 70 pounds. They induced vomiting until my stomach shifted on my ribs. I was beat my stomach until I have large pouching. They almost ruptured my stomach. I was bashed in the back of the head. I have a dent. It should have killed me. I now stutter when I get upset. You ever been tortured, Agent John? Human trafficked? I was almost shot in the head driving, had to hide on a shooting night not to get killed, faced 6 stalkers. I lived through pure hell helping the government. And because of my horror, they got so much information on those people, and thousands went to jail and they saved hundreds. A letter of thank you would be nice. Medical card, new name and social for me and Carl, so we can live our lives out in peace. And my money. Please.